The events in this video are fictional as are the characters portrayed within. Any similarities to anyone living or dead are merely coincidental and have been created at random by XCOM's name generator. Seriously.
So welcome back one and all to part 4 of XCOM EW Long War II, with our train arriving at the next station, Stone Empire. I am not a fan of this map, but we'll get to that in a second.
This is Big Sky. Strike team has reached the AO.
I feel these intros are a little bit long, so let's speed things up. We got Wilson with his 2 rockets as a Rocketeer, Washington as infantry, Reed as assault, and Aniston, Bale and Cage as our rookies, with an assortment of grenades, a battle scanner and a medkit. And in terms of contacts, what can we expect? In Abductions we've had sectoids, drones and sectoid leaders, but we can't count out the possibility of drone leaders. And as for numbers, before recording I always play a couple of missions in an offline campaign just to warm up, and I was also given a heavy abduction mission just like this one. And in that map I had 14 ETs, so that's what I'm going to expect here. So as I scour the map for meld, let's talk a little about this map, and why playing here always makes me feel so uneasy, aside from feeling like I'm about to go to work. This is a medium-sized map with no obtainable high ground for our troops, without any kind of G mods or tech. To make things worse, cover is extremely limited. On the left hand side of the map we've got the left platform and the train acting as heavy cover. Side note, there's our first meld. And on the right hand side of the map we've got the trench where the train tracks run along, nearly entirely devoid of cover, as well as the right hand platform. That also offers little in the form of cover. You'll also notice this map is very much rectangular and tunnel shaped. This is going to make it extremely difficult to get any kind of flank. So to that end, I'll make it my goal to take both platforms. Some of you might remember from our first mission, splitting your troops into teams can be very dangerous. It might offer a wider variety of flanks, but the risk that if something goes wrong, backup might be too far away to help. So we've got a plan laid out, it's time to get our troops to the number 7 train. Bale's up first, acts as our scout.
I'm all over it.
And no disgruntled commuters have been spotted just yet. With no contacts revealed, Washington's free to move up and settle himself in position to use his light 'em up ability. Next up's Reed, shotgun in hand, followed by Aniston and Cage.
Copy that.
On my way.
And lastly Dashing Wilson with his rockets, because who knows if I'm going to have to derail this train.
Got it. Going now.
And with the sound of sectoids in the air, it's time to get ready for contact. This trench would have actually been pretty good for Einstein as a sniper, but there's no way I could have known what map it would be. That's just the way it is with abductions. I really don't want to push out any further than this, so Bale gets ready with his wireless webcam.
Scanners up and running.
And look who we find, 4 angry sectoid commuters, poking and laughing at the corpse of a regular old human commuter.
He was all like, I don't want to go to work. Then he was all like, aliens, don't kill me! Stupid humans.
And in South Africa we don't tolerate that kind of abuse from aliens on trains, so I think it's time for some Team XCOM justice. I want to get closer before I engage, as Wilson with his rockets isn't going to have a shot from there, so our rookie Aniston moves up to scout the right hand side of the train.
Yes, Commander.
Thankfully no contacts yet, which leaves our options open. Our assault shotty Reed follows her,
That location.
while Washington camouflages himself next to a bin, readying himself to unload half his assault rifle's clip into one of those aliens. And I measure the distance to see who can make it into the driver's compartment next turn, and it looks like I get to choose between my 3 frontline troops, Aniston, Reed and Washington. Cage dashes up between Aniston and Reed, and with the coast clear that leaves Wilson to move up with his rockets.
Heading out.
While under the cover of thunder, we can just about hear these angry little sectoids smashing up the train. We'll see what Wilson thinks of that. So with her chance to reach the full cover inside of the train, Aniston leads the way to see if she'd alert any raging passengers.
Aye, aye, Commander.
With Aniston's all clear, Washington gets to move into position. And Reed takes his old spot to go hug a bin.
Okay.
Knowing the coast is all clear, Bale moves out of cover and into the open, to end the turn.
Aye, aye.
And with the alien turn's end, our webcam's lost its power. So no more perving on the alien menace on YouTube. But it's no big deal because we know where they are and they haven't moved. So Wilson swings round to get a better shot. Meanwhile Cage puts into effect the plan that I devised from the start. All or nothing, take both platforms. And like always with no aliens active, it's okay to run Cage out into the open.
That's affirmative.
And the same rules apply as I dash Bale out to join him. And with Bale having dashed out into the open with no moves left, It's imperative that I do not alert the aliens this turn. So Reed dashes up behind Wilson, and we leave things there for this turn. Another turn ignoring the meld keeps our troops alive, and when we need the meld, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Cage and Bale continue their odyssey to the right platform,
I'm on the move.
Got it.
while Wilson and Reed push up behind the concealment of those train line posters.
Aye, aye,
Now
Commander.
pushing on two fronts can be extremely risky, so we're going to call it a turn and have everybody go into Overwatch.
Scanning.
A new turn means we're going to continue pushing forwards, but I want the inevitable engagement to be under the best possible terms for us, so we take things slow. So Bale makes his move to catch up with Reed and Wilson on the opposite platform,
Aye, aye, Commander.
while Cage isn't far behind him.
Moving. Moving on.
Aye,
Cage inches forwards,
Heading to that location.
and Wilson and Reed do the same.
aye. Will do.
And you might have noticed Wilson can fire his rocket even after moving. The catch is, the range is halved, and the aim penalty is just as severe, even with the reduced range. A slight position adjustment for Cage,
That's affirmative.
and this is about as good as we're going to get it. And knowing the position of those angry little sectoids, and taking into account their line of sight and range, I know exactly where to put Wilson to trigger the engagement under the best possible terms. So here we go.
Enemy spotted.
Oh shit, it's the transport police. We need tickets.
And so they scatter. Now unfortunately in their initial move they moved back instead of forwards, and with Wilson's reduced rocket range, after having moved, he hasn't got a shot. Now seems a good a time as any to point out, Mission 1 Broken Prey was running Long War version Beta 5, whereas all the other subsequent missions, including this one, is running Beta 6, which has a known bug which deters sectoids from mind merging. Ironically this actually makes sectoids much tougher to fight, as they each get to attack, instead of sci-humping each other. And having said that, I hunker down Wilson, who's the only one in range, and overwatch everybody else. Now even looking back at this replay, I still can't work out who in this abomination scores the killing shot for 5. All that I know is between the two of them, the hideous merged mass that is Washington get the job done. Meanwhile Cage takes his overwatch shot, and misses.
Missed.
Bale on the other hand takes his 48% overwatch, and tags the little guy for 3 damage, while he cowers behind a plant pot nursing his wounds. And the third of 4 sectoids dashes up completely carefree of all the bullets that have been fired. And that's a telltale noise of the meld canister popping. Now we're in a commanding position. Only 4 sectoids triggered, 1's dead, another's clinging on for dear life with 1 health, the third's gleefully charged forward in half cover, and the last is way back, out of range of most of my troops, behind full cover and probably in Overwatch. And much like the last mission, I feel completely safe to fire wildly from full cover to half cover. So let's start by putting that low health sectoid out of his misery. Cage is up first for 42%, but no luck.
Oh, shut wide.
Now Bale's turn for 38%. And just like that he sends that little sectoid skipping into the light at the end of the train tunnel for a completely over the top 4 damage. Clearly Bale's the kind of soldier that likes to finish what he starts. Now it's time to put Washington's light 'em up skill to good use. And with 2 53% shots, all Washington manages to do is 3 damage. So much for the reliability of infantry. But with that poor little sectoid cowering behind half cover in the train like a hobo, Aniston demands to see his ticket for 32%.
Bye-bye.
And for another 3 damage. Mercilessly precise, Aniston missed her calling. And with only a single bad shot on the last poor guy, we hunker Wilson down and let the alien make his move.
I'm on it.
They're starting to lose ground.
I really hope we meet those XCOM guys. They're awesome.
Okay, he brought friends. And with the remaining sectoid of the previous pack gone into hiding, and a new pack of 3 that's just 1 tile out of range to be triggered, it's time for Wilson to demonstrate how the new Long War rockets work. Unlike vanilla XCOM's all or nothing 90% to hit rockets, with Long War's rockets you have to give them a much wider margin for error. The percent indicator no longer shows the chances to hit the exact target location, but now shows, depending on the soldier's accuracy and the target location's distance, the number of possible tiles that the rocket can drift. So for example, if it says 25%, it means the rocket can drift 2.5 tiles, as indicated here. So for example, if I aim the rocket here, it can scatter 2.5 tiles, and can hit anywhere in this approximate area. And Wilson brings it home. 1 shot, 3 kills, what every Rocketeer aspires to be. And even though he shot through 2 windows, the rocket drifted just over a single tile off course, and he ventilated half a train carriage in the process, he still brought home the sectoid bacon, hitting damn near dead on, even if the targets were out of range. Makes no difference to Wilson. Well, we can't top that this turn, might as well call it and go into Overwatch. And just as I thought, he couldn't help himself. And just like last time, Cage whiffs his Overwatch. And Washington and Aniston follow suit.
Firepower over here.
But thankfully, yet again, the Dark Knight takes his Overwatch far more seriously, with his 48% for 5 damage. And with all our active contacts dead, it's time to take a turn out to reload.
Reloaded.
Ready to rock. I'm on
Covering now.
Sounds like more sectoids. So with half the number of probable contacts dead, and no injuries, besides his train carriage, that's going to require a fair few repair drones, we're doing good. So it's time to move up again. Our assault Reed, who slept through the first half of the mission, leads the way. And being able to run and gun makes him a great scout. Because even if he triggers any hostiles, he'll still be able to dash, running and gunning, shooting or going into Overwatch afterwards. Meanwhile, inside the train, Anderson takes the lead,
On the move.
and Washington backs her up. Meanwhile, the same story goes for the right-hand platform. Cage moves up to the outside cover, reducing the risk of triggering any contacts. Meanwhile, Bale carelessly dashes to the inside cover,
Yes, sir.
thankfully not triggering any traps.
Sign my autograph book.
Well, with more fans dealt with the respect they deserve, it's time to see who else we can catch. Next turn. Like before, our assault scout Reed takes point.
on it, Commander.
And with the alien capsule free of prying eyes, Reed moves aside so Wilson can dash up with his last rocket. Likewise, in the train, Anderson takes the lead, and Washington takes her old spot. Lastly, Cage peeks his head around the corner, and we leave things there.
I've got my eyes on.
A new turn and Anderson moves up again, and like before, knowing it's secure, Washington takes her old spot. Now with the meld being long gone, we're free to take our sweet time.
To that location.
So we call it another turn, and see if the aliens make any moves.
Aye, aye.
And like before, the right platform moves up, Cage leading the way,
Heading to that location.
and Bale not far behind. I've moved up my troops about as far as I can inside the train, because someone blew up all the cover, so my only option to advance, Reed, Wilson, Anderson and Washington, is on the left platform. So Reed leads the way.
Moving to position.
And oh god, the repair drones have turned up, and they don't seem too pleased with Wilson's handiwork. Now drones this early on in the game are very tough to kill, and 4 of them are an absolute nightmare, and it's just the excuse I need for the last of Wilson's rockets. And although there's a drift of 2.7 tiles, dealing heavy damage to 3 drones is way too good to pass up. So Wilson lets it loose. Ooh, Wilson. Well, you can't hit them all. But it's better than nothing. At least he killed one of them. But because of that, we've still got a big problem.
On the move.
So Aniston moves up to the heavy cover by Reed, while Cage moves into heavy cover on the right side, and Bale dashes up to get ready for next turn. But thankfully it's not all doom and gloom. Reed's in range for an AP grenade to hit 2 of them. With APs the odds aren't great against armoured drones, but he takes his chances.
Suck on this!
And 0-0. That's outstanding. But the rookie Aniston thinks she can do better, so she's up next.
Incoming.
Wow, from 0-0 to 4-2, and killing off one of the drones. But we need more than that to get the job done, so Cage fires his 72%. And, like so many of his Overwatches, shoots for the sky. I guess he just likes the feel of reloading his gun. And with everyone else having grenaded, shot, rocketed or dashed, all that's left is Washington, the only one in low cover, so he hunkers down. And that's one dash. Oh, this isn't a good time. And a leader to boot.
ET in sight. Engaging.
And as for the second drone, he must be taking Cage's approach to shooting things.
I'm all right.
And now we're in a lot of trouble. We have to get rid of those drones this turn, or those sectoids are going to swarm us. And with Wilson's first action being a shot and not ending his turn, we'll see what he can do with 65%. And the answer to that is not a lot. And to make things worse, looking at that drone's position, it's going to flank half my squad in one turn. But thanks to Wilson's light him up ability, we have 6 shots that can hit it. So Bale takes his 48% and shoots for the breeze.
Target's
Next
still
is Cage's 52 and a hit for 1 damage. Now you can start to see why they're so difficult to kill. They have a natural defense equivalent to low cover because they're airborne, making them harder to hit. They're practically immune to critical hits, and to top it all off, there's their damage reduction, as demonstrated by Cage's 1 damage. Now at this point I'm getting a bit cocky. I have far too much faith that we're going to kill that front drone this turn, and so even though Washington's in low cover, give him another 65% try. Another 65% miss, Washington. You've got the best aim out of the whole group. What the fuck's the matter with you? That may not seem like a big deal, but a single hit on one of my troops could send the entire squad into a panic spiral. It's like I'm working with a bunch of prima donnas. So now I have to start formulating a backup plan. So Reed gets in close.
I'm on it, Commander.
78% isn't good enough, as I don't trust the accuracy or the damage to finish that drone off. And remember, shotguns thrive on critical hits, and he's got a 0% chance. With Aniston being our first likely flank victim, she swings round for a safe position.
okay.
So what's the plan? My idea is that with Aniston, Wilson and Reed in Overwatch, and Reed being in close range, it's going to be enough from discourage the drones from moving and getting a flank on any of my troops. So let's see how things turn out. Oh shit, hit and kill, hit and kill, hit and kill! And Reed saves the day, dealing 4 damage. The second drone on the other hand doesn't like his chances, so he shoots from his position.
There's heavy fire in this zone.
Crisis over, for now. The remaining drone fired, and none of the sectoids went into Overwatch, so we're safe this turn. Reed pulls back from danger,
Heading there now.
and finds himself a flank. But before we get ahead of ourselves, time to take out that last repair drone. And Reed takes a 50-50 coin toss. Putting every shotgun shell to good use. And with that last drone out the way, we may not have complete control of the situation, but we've made things a hell of a lot more secure. 3 sectoids left, and all in low cover. Not that that makes much difference to the sectoid leader. So, about that flank Reed spotted earlier.
On the move.
Aniston wants a piece of it. And with a 62-60 and smashing the train up a little more, she bags the kill with a critical hit for 6. Now with what's probably the last 2 enemies on the map, and with all our team having access to lots of full cover, and the enemy only being limited to half cover, it's time to get into better positions and start firing wildly again. Washington dashes up to full cover to take shots next turn. Wilson and Bale do the same.
Move, move, move. Running.
And Cage aims to keep them both in place by going into Overwatch.
Moving to Overwatch.
A swing and a miss. And likewise. My turn. Washington, you're up. 83%. Go. And you miss a flank. Awesome. And with a misclick, go for the one in low cover. Yeah, you managed to tag that one for 2 damage with the 53% shot. Too bad you missed the first shot and went for the wrong alien on the second. But screw it, no big loss. This is just train sweeping duty now. Cage, finish the job with 42%. Go.
X-ray.
Nicely done. 4 damage. Reed, end this. 46%. Go. Oh, you just couldn't make that 3 shells, 3 kills, could you?
Roger that.
No matter. Aniston, 62%. Go. And with a 60% critical chance, scoring a massive 9 damage crit.
Perfect.
I should probably mention that in Beta 6 critical hits can roll for more damage with all weapons on both sides. Like flanking with a pistol frequently one-shotting sectoids. But like I said, it works on both sides, so all's fair. So, the highlight. Another flawless victory, I will take it.
only did our troops return safely,
And after seeing what Wilson managed, Aniston wants to be a Rocketeer, or possibly a gunner, while Bale and Cage have had enough of their guns and want to become Grenadiers or Medics. And pretty decent loot. With even a smidge of meld, like icing on a cake. Sure South African money, I'll take it.
We will be watching.
And as I said, I won't be building satellite or satellite uplinks in the first month, as that's the same boring, tired routine I've done in every XCOM game I've played. So might as well burn the money digging some more holes. I'm gonna have to put all those rookie corpses somewhere. So with that little base management done, time to see who else needs Team XCOM's help.
Excavation complete.
Oh yeah, right. You guys are probably thinking, what the fuck India, you bunch of fucking traitors. As far as I gather, this is just a mechanic of how long war works. Here's the thing. You can now retake countries that you've lost by performing an alien base assault in the country that's currently occupied. But that means if you're good enough and you don't lose any countries, then you never get the opportunity to assault an alien base and progress the story. So to ensure story progression, Long War picks a random country in your first month and has the aliens take control of it. Yeah, that kinda sucks, but it keeps things interesting. And, as demonstrated by India here, screws you out of the continent bonus. So no discounted offers of training school or foundry bonuses for me anytime soon. Thanks India, that's just stellar. Well, let's get right back on the ball. Yes, my shivs are done! Now these little guys, as you'd imagine, don't suffer from fatigue, but will of course have lengthy repair times if they get damaged. And I shall dub them Kenneth Baker and Anthony Daniels. Bonus points for those of you who work out why. So why have I built them this early on when I have such a large roster that needs to be trained? If ever I'm in doubt of surviving a mission, I'm going to bring one of these little guys along. And if things get too hot, I might have to suicide them to get my troops out. No, seriously. So back to saving the world. Here we go, this is what I was looking for. Heavy difficulty
Commander,
abduction.
we have multiple
And it looks
reports
like
of
we're
new
going down
abductions
to
in
Shanghai
progress.
town.
The locations are marked on the hologlobe.
Right, time for some new promotions. First up are heavies, the potential Rocketeers / Gunners. The manliest of men, Jennifer Aniston and Julia Roberts. Unfortunately for Jennifer Aniston, after being inspired by Wilson, her subpar aim has her fall short of the bar and fail bazooka school, so she'll have to just make do with a light machine gun and firing wildly. Leaving Julia Roberts with the rocket launcher. As demonstrated by Wilson, having high aim is essential to hitting those vital rocket shots, even though he fluked one and whiffed the other. Not exactly the best idol to look up to, but nobody's perfect. Next up are my supports, the Grenadier Medics, Bale, Lee and Cage, with Reagan still in sickbay, and with Cage having the highest aim by far, he gets the privilege of carrying the medkits. So Cage, what do you want, 4 grenades or 3 medkits? What's that? I can't hear you. Medkits, all yours. And looks like Lee's got the lowest aim, so he gets to blow some shit up. We'll leave Bale and Pacino for another day, we've got more choices. So who am I going to bring with me? Rocketeers can turn the tide of a battle quicker than anyone else, so Julia Roberts coming along with a brand new rocket launcher, with the standard issue +1 rocket ammo and the laser sight to compensate. Next we'll bring along the oh-so-salty Aniston, to pin down enemies and give Julia Roberts the stink eye, equipped with the oh-so-useful high-cap mags, to keep her shooting, and a flashbang for when her suppression's not good enough. And for the last of our non-rookies we'll bring along Bruce Lee, as the generally closer quarters of abduction maps will be better suited to grenades than the more typically open UFO maps, and as the only grenades he gets double carry capacity for are APs and HEs, that's what he gets. And our rookies are going to be Joe Perry, Colin Firth and Steve McQueen. And as Joe Perry's got the worst aim by far, he gets the 2 offensive items, Flashbang and AP. Colin Firth and Steve McQueen have equally good aim, so they both get a combat and utility item, in the form of a Flashbang and a medkit for Firth, and a smoke and a battle scanner for McQueen. And with that, We're all set to go.
We should get down there and secure the area as quickly as we can.
For our next mission, the halitosis inflicted, rotting breath. Don't forget to bring some mints.